Rock Galactic is a 1 to 4 player co-op first-person shooter featuring badass space dwarves, 100% destructible environments, procedurally generated caves, and endless hordes of alien monsters. The game features 4 unique classes to choose from: the gunner, the engineer, the driller, or the scout, each with specialized tools and abilities. Rock Galactic currently sits at an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam, with 97% of all reviews being positive. However, that means that 3% of players did not enjoy the game and gave it a negative review. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into these negative reviews and see if we can understand why they did not enjoy this great game. So, review number 1, right here. So, as you can see, negative review, 330 hours on record. I let my 4-year-old play this game, and now he thinks beer is cool. You know, that is unfortunate that your 4-year-old thinks beer is cool. Does that deserve a negative review? I suppose it does. We'll count that one. That's valid. Alright. Number 2. 315 hours on record. All caps, don't buy this game. Do you know just how many bugs I found? Endless seas of them. And that is true as well. There are lots of bugs in this game. So many different types of bugs. I mean, you got small hoarder bugs, you got some like regular bugs, some fast bugs, bugs that shoot acid at you, got some really big bugs, bugs that explode, bugs that pick you up and carry you across the map, bugs that turn invisible, bugs that look like scorpions and yank you across the map as well. Lots of bugs that catch you, yank you up to the ceiling. Lots and lots of bugs. So that's fair. That's pretty fair. Lots of bugs in the game. Thumbs down. Can't argue with that one too much. I mean, that's just true. There are lots of bugs in the game. Review number 3 here, 84.7 hours on record. The loot bugs. Can't you know what the loot bugs. 84.7 hours. They might have tried that a lot, and it just didn't work out. Thumbs down, can't. The loot bugs, if that's what they're in it for, they gave it a thumbs down. You can't argue with that. You can pet the loot bugs. But clearly that's not enough for this person reviewing the game here. Can't argue with that too much. If that's what they like, that's what they like, Another valid one, I suppose. We'll say that's a valid one. Review number 4 here. 120.7 hours on record. No option to see the gunner oiled up and twerking. Yeah, don't think they've added that to the game yet. This person could maybe, this was posted in 2023. Maybe they could reach out. Maybe they'll add that in a future update. No option to see the gunner oiled up and twerking. Now, this does specifically say gunner. Has he tried with the other classes? I'm not sure. Does he only want the gunner to be oiled up and twerking? That is interesting. 120.7 hours on record. I don't know if this one's too fair, because it's very specific about just being the gunner. I don't know. And they could always add that in a future update. This one may become a positive update sometime soon. We don't know. Alright. Review number 5 here. 5.6 hours on record, 2.6 at the time of this review. Back in 2021. This game would be okay if it was less cringe. The dancing aspect of the game is super cringy. It makes me want to uninstall! ! Please make the game less cringe. And why are all the caricatures super ugly? I like playing caricatures that are more better looking. If you're a cringe neckbeard, this game is for you! ! So this person doesn't like fun, clearly. Review number 6. 126 hours on record. This game does not have microtransactions, and I only like games with microtransactions. Now that's valid. That is true. Who doesn't love buying a game and then spending hundreds of dollars on cosmetics? I mean, that's part of the fun. Who doesn't love games just being a storefront for microtransactions? That's honestly my favorite part about games. I love just buying cosmetics and skins. So, you know, fair, right? Maybe if EA or Microsoft created this game, I'm sure it'd have tons of microtransactions to choose from. So that's unfortunate. Review number 7 here, 213.7 hours on record. Deep Rock seriously needs to invest in some better equipment. And this, I actually could not agree more. This is very true. This is very true. If you've played Deep Rock before, you would actually 100% agree with this review. Very fair. Deep Rock seriously needs to invest in some better equipment. Very, very true. Couldn't say that enough times. Deep Rock seriously needs to invest in some better equipment. It's getting out of hand. They seriously need to invest in some better equipment. Extremely fair review. Very fair. Alright, next review, number 8 here. 29.3 hours on record. I cannot stop saying rock and stone, and it has ruined my life. That is definitely something to get used to when you first play this game. 29 hours on record. You know, he just hasn't got used to the rock and stone yet. He let it take over his life. He couldn't stop saying it. You know, you got to be careful with that. You can think it a lot. You just can't let it consume you and take over your life. It clearly has. Clearly they stopped playing after 29 hours, so hopefully their life is back on track. If the rock and stone ruined their life, they gave it a bad review, you know, can't argue with that. That's fair. That's a fair one. Alright, next review, number 9 here. 11 hours on record. It's alright, I guess, but there is no naked setting, so it sucks in all caps. Like I said in those other reviews, you know, you never know. The devs add content quite a bit. You know, reach out to them. Maybe they'll add that for you. I don't know. Maybe that'll become a positive at some point. Alright, review number 10. 345 hours on record. Can't blank the dwarf. This reminds me of one we saw earlier. Can't blank the dwarf. 345 hours. This person sure tried a lot. This could... Did the person that said this about the loot bugs, did they make a burner account just to double down on this bad review? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, next review. Review number 11. 113.9 hours on record. No blank in Deep Rock. There's a little bit of a trend going on here. No blank in Deep Rock. You know, I've played a lot of the game. That is true. There is no blank in Deep Rock. That's very true. Is that worthy of a bad review? To this person it is. He can find that elsewhere though. Alright, next review. Number 12. 125 hours on record. This game caused my wife to leave me. You know? I'm sorry about that, man. Next review. Review number 13. 207 hours of record. Can't play at school. This sounds like a skill issue to me. You can't play at school, but I believe you actually can play at school. There are computer labs at school. I believe you can play at school, you're just not trying hard enough. You can play at school. It's all about the mindset. You can. That negative can become a positive review right there. Next review, number 14 here. 18 hours on record. I have no friends. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Next review, number 15. Last review here that we're looking at today. 55 hours on record. 0 out of 10. Can't blank the dwarves.